This is a special carbon fiber with some foam in the middle, so it makes this carbon fiber very light. So this is a 10.9 gram just for this. And it is it is quite sturdy. So let's start assembling this. So let's talk about the way this was constructed. So let's talk about how I assembled this. I designed some 3D TPU mount. I got the idea from Tomoquad. He gave this with his kit. So this is a flexible TPU, and you basically press fit the bolt inside. You don't really need to screw them in. So I designed my own. I then have the ESC, the wire go from the inside, and I also added two of those spacer again because my receiver is on sandwich in between. And after that, well, I had like some spacer and some little rubber TPU mounts. So this is a TPU sandwich. You could use O-rings, and basically all this space was sort of to make sure all the receiver and all the wires. I didn't really focus on making sure like all the wires are cut perfectly at the right length. I didn't want to cut my motors because I'm planning on working on a sort of another project, and I'm going to reuse those parts. Some of you have noticed I'm using a capacitor. This is Panasonic. It's huge because this was basically for my other quads, and I had them laying around, so I decided to add one here because these motors are gem fan motors. They're high kV, and they sort of if you want power, you will get the power you want. These motors will give you a lot of power, and actually I just want to make sure there's no electronic noise that's going to affect the performance of this machine, so I added a capacitor just in case. Okay, the TPU mount. Basically what you have to understand, okay, about the TPU mount, what you have to understand here is that the only pair of screws that I had were 8mm, and I had to make some standoff. Instead of, I don't have washers, but I did have those TPU mount that I printed, so I decided to use two. But basically, you would only need one on this side. But this technically is even better because the screw is not touching technically the carbon fiber. This screw right there, so it might be even better. But it doesn't matter. What matters is that I wanted to have some little soft mount in the motor because they took some beating, and I have one that is damaged. I'm waiting for some replacement part, and I know it will vibrate, so I'm putting all the chance on my side. So that's it right now. Where I'm sort of not struggling, but thinking how I'm gonna mount the VTX. So I'm planning right now to put it at the back, right there. Simple as that. When my stack was little, instead of having a lot of parts here, it would be lower, so I would put my VTX right there, and then put the top plate, but now it's a little bit more tricky and I'm not going to play that risk, so I'm going to simply find a clean way to mount it here and put the camera.